In 2011, when Siri was introduced, it was supposed to be the revolution that would change Apple's future forever. But for 14 years, it became nothing more than a running joke. Until Apple's secret World Knowledge Answers project was revealed. And now, Siri is about to obliterate ChatGPT and Google. But here's what most people don't realize about what's really happening behind Apple's closed doors. Welcome back to AI Handbook channel, where I expose the revolutionary changes happening in artificial intelligence every single day. By the end of this video, you will understand why Apple's newest AI move isn't just another update. It's the beginning of the end for Google's 20-year search dominance and the rise of the most powerful AI assistant the world has ever seen. Let's go back to October 4th, 2011. Steve Jobs had passed away just one day earlier, and Apple was about to introduce something that would supposedly revolutionize how we interact with technology. Siri wasn't just a voice assistant. It was Apple's bold statement that the future belonged to conversational AI. Scott Forstall took the stage and demonstrated Siri's capabilities. What's the weather like? Send a message to my wife. Set a reminder for tomorrow. The audience was mesmerized. This felt like science fiction becoming reality. But then reality hit. Siri couldn't understand accents. It misinterpreted simple commands. It struggled with anything beyond basic tasks. While Google Search was indexing the entire internet and providing instant results, Siri was asking users to repeat themselves for the third time. For over a decade, Siri became the punchline of every tech joke. Hey Siri, what's the weather? I found 14 recipes for weather soup. Social media exploded with Siri fails. Meanwhile, Google Assistant launched in 2016 and immediately outperformed Siri in almost every category. By 2024, when ChatGPT had reached 100 million users and was answering complex questions with human-like intelligence, Siri was still struggling to set kitchen timers correctly. Apple's revolutionary voice assistant had become a symbol of the company's AI failures. But what if I told you that Apple's greatest humiliation was about to become their most devastating weapon? Before we deep dive, let me remind you to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming next in the AI world. While the world was laughing at Siri, something extraordinary was happening deep inside Apple Park. According to Bloomberg's Mark Gurman, Apple had quietly established a new internal division called Answers, Knowledge, and Information, or AKI for short. This wasn't just another engineering team. This was Apple's Manhattan Project for AI search. Led by Senior Director Robbie Walker, who reports directly to AI Chief John Giannandrea, the AKI team had one mission: build a ChatGPT killer. But here's where it gets interesting. Apple's internal documents revealed they were working on something called World Knowledge Answers, a system that wouldn't just compete with ChatGPT and Perplexity AI, but would integrate directly into the heart of Apple's ecosystem. Craig Federighi, Apple's software engineering chief, made a shocking admission in August 2024. He said the overhauled Siri architecture was giving Apple the results they needed, and they were now positioned to not just deliver what we announced, but to deliver a much bigger upgrade than we envisioned. Think about that for a moment. The same company that couldn't make Siri understand "call mom" properly was now claiming they could build something bigger than what they had promised. What did they discover? The answer lies in Apple's complete architectural overhaul. They couldn't make the first-generation Siri work properly, so they did something unprecedented. They destroyed it completely and rebuilt it from the ground up using large language models. This wasn't an upgrade. This was a resurrection. Here's where this story takes an incredible turn. Remember, Google has been paying Apple roughly $20 billion annually to remain the default search engine on iPhones. That's not just a business deal. It's one of the most lucrative partnerships in tech history. But this week, something unprecedented happened. Apple and Google reached a formal agreement that will see Apple evaluating and testing a custom Google-designed Gemini AI model specifically to power Siri's new capabilities. Let me put this in perspective. Google is essentially handing Apple the very technology that Apple will use to destroy Google's search monopoly. It's like giving your enemy the blueprint to your own castle while they're planning to attack it. But why would Google do this? The answer is fascinating. Apple was initially close to signing with Anthropic. Their Claude AI model actually performed better than Gemini in internal tests, but Anthropic wanted over $150 million annually for the license. Google, desperate to maintain their foothold in Apple's ecosystem, offered much more favorable financial terms. What Google doesn't realize is that they just signed their own death warrant. Apple plans to use Google's own Gemini technology running on Apple's private cloud compute servers to power a search experience that will directly compete with Google's search. The irony is breathtaking. Google is paying Apple $20 billion to be the default search engine, while simultaneously giving Apple the AI technology to make that search engine irrelevant. But Apple's plan goes far deeper than anyone imagined. Apple isn't just upgrading Siri, they're transforming their entire ecosystem into an AI-powered information hub. According to insider reports, World Knowledge Answers will initially launch in Siri during spring 2026 with iOS 26.4, but that's just the beginning. The system will expand to Safari, giving Apple's browser AI-generated search results alongside traditional links. Spotlight Search will become a central hub for both personal and web queries. Apple has even discussed creating a standalone chatbot application for search. But here's what makes Apple's approach fundamentally different from ChatGPT or Perplexity. While those services exist as separate applications, Apple is embedding AI search directly into the operating system that 1.2 billion people use every day. Think about the implications. When someone picks up their iPhone and asks Siri a question, they won't get redirected to Google or ChatGPT anymore. The AI will generate comprehensive answers with text, images, video, and local information, all processed instantly on device or through Apple's private cloud. Apple's new Siri won't just answer questions, it will understand personal context, read screen content, and take actions within apps using an extensive system called Intents. It's not just a voice assistant anymore, it's becoming an AI operating system. This is Apple's classic strategy. Arrive late to the party, but bring such a superior product that it redefines the entire market. They did it with the iPod, the iPhone, and now they're doing it with AI search. So what happens in spring 2026 when Apple flips the switch? Let's paint the picture. Eddy Cue, Apple's services chief, already testified in court that Google searches from Apple devices have declined for the first time in 20 years. People are turning to ChatGPT for answers instead of traditional search engines. But when World Knowledge Answers launches, this trend will accelerate exponentially. Imagine this scenario. You pick up your iPhone and say, "Hey Siri, plan a weekend trip to Paris." Instead of showing you Google search results, Siri generates a complete itinerary with flights, hotels, restaurants, and activities, all personalized to your preferences and budget. It books everything for you if you approve. Or you're browsing Safari and highlight a complex paragraph about quantum physics. Siri instantly explains it in simple terms, provides related videos, and suggests follow-up questions, all without leaving the page. This isn't just search, it's intelligent assistance that makes today's AI tools look primitive. And because it's integrated into iOS, iPadOS, and macOS, Apple controls the entire user experience from question to answer. Perplexity AI, which recently valued itself at $18 billion, is trying to compete by launching their Comet browser and even offering $34.5 billion for Google Chrome. But they're fighting yesterday's war. Apple is building tomorrow's information ecosystem. The numbers tell the story. Perplexity processes 780 million queries monthly, with 20% month-over-month growth. That sounds impressive until you realize that Apple's ecosystem processes billions of Siri interactions daily. When World Knowledge Answers launches, those interactions will become exponentially more valuable and sticky. Google's nightmare scenario is becoming reality. Their $20 billion annual payment to Apple was supposed to protect them from exactly this kind of competition. Instead, it funded the development of their replacement. The transformation of Siri from industry laughingstock to AI powerhouse represents more than just a product update. It's Apple's declaration that the age of traditional search is ending and the era of conversational AI is beginning. By 2026, we might look back at this moment as the beginning of the end for Google's search monopoly, not because of ChatGPT or Perplexity, but because Apple finally delivered on Siri's original promise to fundamentally change how we access and interact with information. The question isn't whether Apple will succeed. The question is how quickly Google, Microsoft, and other tech giants will adapt to a world where AI assistance isn't just an app you download. It's the invisible intelligence that powers everything you do. What do you think? Will Apple's World Knowledge Answers finally fulfill Siri's destiny? Or is this just another overpromise from Cupertino? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching AI Handbook, your source for staying ahead of the AI revolution. I'll see you in the next video, where we'll explore what this means for the future of human-AI interaction.